So I'd like to introduce Kirstin Furber. Kirstin wrote an amazing blog series on human culture. It's on her website, kirstinsfurber.com, and one of the blogs is on this topic, the 5 characteristics of human culture. So welcome, Kirstin.
Thank you, Luke. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so the rule is, if you can't hear me, you have to tell me, because I do sometimes get really excited and my voice gets quieter. So, I'd like you to imagine Sunday evening. You've just had the most amazing weekend. You've eaten all the things you shouldn't have eaten. You've watched all of the programmes you shouldn't have watched, all in one go. You've done a real binge watch. And you're feeling really good. And during that time, you thought, I've got an idea. I'm going to take it into work tomorrow. I'm really excited about this idea. And you're excited because you know you're going to talk to your work colleagues and they're going to go, gosh, it's a great idea. And if you did it like this, it would be even better. And you're also really excited because you know it's going to happen. You're going to make your idea happen. Or, it's your Sunday night, I've got to go to work tomorrow. Oh, I've got to go and spend time with that person and we don't see eye to eye, and I've got that report to do, and it's all your fault, you haven't hired enough people, and the company's not going to work out. And you start putting your armour on, the overcoat, the jumper, you're feeling really heavy. A human culture is a culture where you can be yourself, where you can do your best work, where you feel really valued, and you come up with different ideas. And I really believe at the moment, we were just briefly having this conversation, it's very competitive out there. Us as consumers, we're actually quite fussy. We want more things, and we don't want to pay for it. And we know we've got the technology where it can move very fast. And also, we can be on technology for a long time, so our working day is longer. We also know we've got the artificial intelligence to move things through really, really quickly. So it's very challenging. So how are we going to be competitive? How are your organisations going to be competitive to win? It's all about disrupting the market. It's all about coming up with those new ideas. And to come up with those new ideas, you're only going to be able to do it if you can be yourself, not if you can put your arm on. So I'm Kirstin Furber. I am very, very passionate about human cultures, and through working in a number of organisations, through as a people officer, coaching, asking lots of questions, being curious, I've come up with 5 characteristics I want to share with you today, which I believe creates a human culture. And in the spirit of being human, I'm going to do it through photographs that I've taken. So bear with me as I walk through this. Are you with me so far? Yeah? Good. Okay. The first characteristic is purpose. And I thought Tower Bridge, I love Tower Bridge, it's such an iconic landmark of London. And it's got a very clear purpose. It takes boats from inside and outside of London, and also has a walkway where pedestrians can walk backwards and forwards. It's got a very clear purpose. Has your organisation got a clear purpose? And importantly, do your teams know about that purpose? Do they know the strategy? And do they know how they contribute to that purpose? Because if we're going to be working hard, thinking of new ideas, you want to understand what you're doing it for. So I would ask you to ask some of your people in your offices, what's the purpose? What's that quick, should we say, elevator pitch? When you walk in, what does the person say maybe on reception? What do they say about your company? It's about purpose that's really critical in terms of really framing up what a human culture is. Because you're going to get different ideas, you're going to get different viewpoints, you're going to get arguments. What's the higher purpose of why you're all there, why you're trying to go for it? So number 1, characteristic, purpose. The second is authenticity. Now, this is my cat. Don't worry, for those of you who don't like cats, I'm going to talk about it for ages. But the reason why I've got a picture of an animal up here is animals are always themselves. They don't have time to go, oh, shall I be someone else today because I'm going to go into this meeting? I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm going to fight. That's what they do. Now, we were talking down here about leaders. Authentic leadership is very critical in human culture. Look at your leaders. Do you trust them? You only trust people who you know are authentic, who maybe, dare I say, a bit vulnerable, who really are being themselves. Those are the people you're going to follow. So again, just taking it back to your companies you're working in at the moment, how do your leaders show up? How would you describe them? What could you do to help here? Is there something you can say about, actually, it would come across really well if you're a little bit more vulnerable around that, a bit more real, because then people will really understand what you mean. Or, you know what, I messed up. Role model. The third characteristic is telling your story. And this picture is taken in Greece, it's an amphitheatre. And the reason why I chose this picture was you could drop a pin in the centre here and everyone can hear it. Telling your story is critical, communicating is critical, communicating your purpose, communicating ideas, communicating where you are. But we're all individuals, we all like information in different ways. So do we think about how do we communicate? Sometimes it's communicating like this. You may do town halls, I don't know, you may have small team meetings. Do you follow up with a Slack? Do you follow up with an email? Do you follow up with a WhatsApp? Or actually, some people just like to hear the information that's going on. So for me, being human is about really thinking about how do people like to communicate and use all the different channels, don't just use one. And importantly, have two-way communication because it's all about the questions, it's all about the discussion, it's when you get engagement. And when you start being heard and when you start being valued. So with that, some people don't like asking questions in public forums. Some people like to reflect. So building those mechanisms so that you can have that two-way communication and really build that human culture. So the last two is diversity. And there's many, many different thoughts, information, views about diversity. For me, it's about ideas and thoughts. It's about difference. I went to China a number of years ago. I don't know if anyone has seen the Terracotta Army. There were 8,000 soldiers. They're individual. They're all different. There's not one the same. And that, for me, really depicts diversity in terms of how we can really support it. So, again, how do we encourage people to have different ideas? Do you look at some of the meetings you have, that some people don't get to say anything, and you know they've got a great idea? And I really believe our roles as people leaders is to help people get their ideas out, however it is. There's a bit of a coaching and facilitation. Or do you need to help your leaders to say, you know when you're running a meeting, do you just want to make sure you've got everyone's viewpoints on there? Or how do you communicate? Because you could be missing a gem of an idea that could go and disrupt the market, that could take you and your organisation to the next phase. And finally, workplace. So some of us may work in the street, just happen to be in Cuba. Some of us work in WeWork, some of us work at home, some of us work in the office. So we all know there's the flexibility about where to work. But I believe in human culture, we all like to work at different times. Who's a morning person? Who likes to work late at night? We're all different. So we should think about that. If we've got a really difficult piece of work to do, have we got the flexibility to do it at the right time of day so it can be our best piece of work? So we can really get that out there. So again, it's really thinking about, as people leaders, how we can really develop that and allow people to be their best self. So, in conclusion, that's a lot of, I always think there's a reality to all of this. Because at the end of the day, we've got pressures on us, we've got challenges on us, and we can sometimes lose sight of what the big culture is. So I would really challenge you to think about the 5 characteristics in your organisation. There may be 3 or 4 areas or a number of things you think, actually, we're really good at that. So strengthen those, make them even better. Or is there an area, do you think, actually, we could dial that up a little bit in terms of our flexibility around workplace? Do it. Make it happen. And start with yourself. Think about, when are you on fire? When do you bring your best self to work? And start role modelling it and talking about it, because I guarantee you, people will then start to follow. So in the spirit of two-way communication, I'm now going to stop talking, and I know we've got some other speakers, and I know we'll have a panel to have more ideas and more thoughts. So for me, it's about having the conversation. I'd love to get your thoughts on what human culture is. Does that resonate with you? Does it not? And I look forward to hearing about it. So thank you for listening.